Today I'm going to be taking a look at the Caddx Nebula Pro. So this is everything that you get in the package, and it's quite minimalistic, but this is just the camera on its own. It can be bought with a Vista Kit at the same time. And previously on the channel I reviewed the Caddx Nebula Micro, and when they were announced I assumed that the quality was going to be the same as a DJI camera, but that wasn't the case. The image was quite disappointing. It was similar to an analog camera being fed through the DJI HD system. And Caddx tell me that this new Nebula Pro is better than the DJI stock camera that comes with the Vista and also the Air unit. This camera will connect directly to an Air unit or a Vista. So this is everything that you get in the package, just the camera and 4 screws. Also the lead that attaches to the Air unit and the Vista is already attached on the back. You can see there's no analog input this time, which I think is a good move, because if you've got the DJI HD system, then I can't see why you would want a camera that also hooks up to analog, and vice versa, really. Something that always confused me about these cameras is, why do we need another camera if the stock DJI camera is fine? So when I'm thinking about what are the benefits if this camera is indeed as good as the stock DJI camera, is that it's cheaper than the stock DJI camera. I think it costs around about 39 GBP, and in the UK at least, the stock DJI camera is £50, so 50 GBP. So I guess if you have had a crash with your DJI camera, this is a nice replacement if it can live up to the quality. There is a problem switching from the stock DJI camera to this one though, and that is because this camera is a micro size, so 19mm across instead of the 20mm across of the stock DJI camera. Now you might say that, oh, that's great because this camera will fit in more frames, but if you are swapping from the DJI camera to this one, then your frame is going to be adapted to the stock DJI camera, so you would have to put a little mount in there. In fact, I wish that they would have included that in this package, but there's nothing there. We've just got the camera. Something also important to note is that the length of the camera is quite a bit shorter as well. Now this might be good for some iFlight frames and some frames where the DJI camera sticks out the front, because quite often you have to put one of those cone protectors on the front. This camera would sit further back, but like I say, you need to have a mount for it so that it fitted in the place of the stock DJI camera. And if you are just putting it on a normal frame that's expecting an analog sized micro camera, so 19mm, you want to make sure that the camera is not too far back, otherwise you'll start to get the frame in shot. It does look like the lens is the same lens as the stock DJI camera, which I believe is 2.1mm. It will work in both 4:3 and 16:9 formats, and it does the 120 FPS as well as high quality mode, and that's something that the original Nebula didn't do. It was stuck in 16:9 in high quality mode. So basically this is just a DJI stock camera with a different casing, although Caddx do tell me that it's a different sensor inside. So we'll have to get to the field and see how it performs. Right, the Caddx Nebula Pro. Unfortunately, it's a bit of a dull day today, but this is looking much better. In fact, Caddx say that they reckon it's better than the DJI camera. Now, it's looking the same to me, but that's a good thing, because the DJI camera is superb. Now the settings I've got it in, oh, it just changed blue there though, didn't it? It's a bit different. The white balance changed. That's interesting, look. See the white balance change? Yeah, so don't think the original DJI camera does that. So that's something to watch out for. But yeah, huge improvement. So I am in high quality mode here, 25 megabit. and the latency about the same as the DJI camera, so 38 milliseconds, 35. then into the low 40s sometimes. No jello. Something I did notice though, the camera is bang in the center of this hexacopter, but the motors are not in the center. So the sensor must be slightly not in line. So that's something else to watch out for, but yes, much better. Let's see what it's like handling breakup. Let's go over to those trees back there. So let's see what happens over here. Oh, getting a bit blocky. Oh yeah, blocky. Not bad though. Oh yeah, actually getting very blocky there. That could be this particular Vista, to be honest though, rather than it be anything to do with the camera. I don't think I've got it set at full power actually, but just interesting to see how it performed. Oh, I wish that sun would come out. Alrighty, this is the Caddx Nebula Pro in sunlight on the Flywoo LR4 hexacopter. So we've got the props in shot, and I just want to see what it's like when it deals with sunlight. Oh, the tune on this hexacopter isn't great. Needs a little bit of tweaking, and it is really, really windy. But it looks great. Looks just like DJI camera. Again, the only thing I'm noticing is the camera sensor perhaps off to the right. But straight into the sun there. It's a completely different camera than the Nebula. I am noticing that slightly color shifting. So you see sort of like a blue hue. It's not as noticeable here, but then sort of switches. So that's slightly different to the DJI camera. Of course, a lot of the times with these DJI setups we're getting the props out of shot anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Oh, big gust of wind there, and some birds. Hello birds. Oh no, it's cruel, it's cruel, don't chase the birds. The good thing about the Hex is it's got more power. Still can't keep up with him. No, we don't go over there. But yeah, no complaints really, other than it being off center. Not seeing any jello in the picture. It's shaky, that's the hexacopter, that is, and the wind. Full throttle into the sun. Of course, this camera is mounted really well in this Flywoo hexacopter. Getting a bit of breakup round there. Oh yeah, I didn't set the power. Can just about get around these trees on 25 milliwatt, but it's sketchy. Anyways, let's go in for a landing. Yeah, very happy with this camera. So there you go, that is my review of the Caddx Nebula Pro. I'll put a link in the video description if you wish to get one, and as always, thanks so much for watching. Please continue to subscribe. Cheers.